live to tape from the mountains of West Virginia.
Are you curious about the unknown, the unexplainable? Do you find yourself intrigued by the mysterious and paranormal side of our world? Join us on an adventure into the world of inexplicable discoveries and investigations that may someday give us a final answer as to what may be behind the veil of reality. Then it's time to turn your pods up, because we're live to tape from the mountains of West Virginia. It's time once again for Let's Find Out with co-host Diego. The universe is waiting for you.
Live to tape from the mountains of West Virginia, it's another episode of Let's Find Out with co-host Diego. Thank you for taking this journey with me. On this episode of Let's Find Out, our guest keeps himself very busy, not only with his Historically Haunted Vodcast, where he interviews very interesting people from all walks of life. He's also a historically haunted tour guide and agent to many of the top paranormal investigators, researchers, and the like. We're going to unpack all this plus more. Please welcome to Let's Find Out a great friend of our show and my brother from another mother, Adam, the historian ghost hunter. Adam, my brother, welcome to Let's Find Out. I'm super excited to have you on, man.
What's up, co-host Diego? What's up, Raph, man? Pleasure, man. Pleasure.
Yeah, and just the other day, I was a guest on your show on the Historically Haunted Vodcast. Now you're here with me on our show. And, like I said, it's great having you on. It's, I've been looking forward to this for a while, man, having you on since I first talked to you a couple of months ago now, 3 months ago.
Yeah, it's been ever since kind of Nate threw you my way. Nathaniel Elwell, shout out to him. He kind of told me all about you, and then we kind of got hooked up. Of course, the pro wrestler thing, which I'm a big fan of, wrestling, and then of course paranormal and talk shows. And then I started seeing some of your shows. You had Jim Brown and Don Brown on Tombstone Paranormal. That was a great interview, and I finally get to have you on a couple days ago. So now it's your turn to grill me. More than excited, brother.
Oh yeah, no, I'm ready. We're off to the races here today. But I know that you have so many things going on, so I like to tackle them one at a time. But hop in when you want to. Seeing that you're involved with tons of projects. One of them, I guess, is top of the list with the Historically Haunted tours. Where do these tours take place as far as locations, and how long you've been doing that now?
Great question. I appreciate the shout out for that. So long story short, man, I guess I've been, if you can ask my girlfriend Heather, for a long time. I mean, even since school days, I've always loved history. I loved research. I like, old school. I like getting down to pen and paper and writing down places of significance, just, historical things, if you want to say it that way. And of course, that led to haunted things, which led to movie filming sites. And then along the way, you just see abandoned things. You hear of offbeat road attractions. So just like with my YouTube channel, Adam Historian Ghost Hunter, which is what my handle is for here. That's kind of what the tour is led by, is me. If you come to New England, where I'm based out of, specifically Maine, I live 45 minutes away from Bangor, Maine, Derry, Maine, Stephen King Center, So I went to the same high school as him. I grew up in Lisbon, so I've been infatuated with King. And if you know anything about Stephen King, I'm sure the listeners probably know 90% of his films, and at least 100% of his books, for the most part, really are based out of Maine. And they're based on true events, true places, and they're actually filmed in real spots. So I've just been doing research. I've been looking up, watching movies, comparing the background, doing background Googling and all that good stuff just to try to find these movie filming locations where he shot Pet Cemetery, where he filmed pieces of Storm of the Century. Bon and Sin, come on in, So I've been to those places, but then obviously the historical places. I've been to places where, like, one of the U.S. vice presidents died, the couch he died on, and where he's buried, Hannibal Hamlin. So I start to just write all these places down, incorporate them in an area. And then people just come up, X amount of money, because it depends what you want to see. And I'll go with you and I'll pinpoint the place, the significance of the place, the history of the place, as well as supply you with pictures and stuff that I've seen to compare for your notes. And then we'll go in person, and we'll go from every place to where the America's oldest sheep woolen mill is still in existence, 1821. And it's where they filmed Graveyard Shift. In Harmony, Maine, Pet Cemetery, Stephen King. So I incorporate it all, and I love it. And people out there love that too, because there's a lot of historical things are getting torn down, taken down, and they try to save what they can. But Maine's loaded, man. It all started on the East Coast, bro. You know that. It all started fucking.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. Now, with your tour being a lot of it with the locations of Stephen King movies and the novels and whatnot, what kind of feedback have you received from the Stephen King fans? Because that would have to be something pretty exciting for them.
Yes, Danny Perez and Lauren Perez, the Radicals, they drive around in a hearse. They make Ouija boards out of coffin wood from Connecticut. They're actually clients of mine too. But they came down. They were the first real ones to take the tour, and they spoiled me, man. They did. They gave me pretty good chunk of change, put it that way. And I brought them to Hancock, Maine, named after the president, or the guy that signed his name on the Declaration of Independence, John Hancock. Hancock, Maine is where the Pet Cemetery house is, where Gage got killed, and it's still there. So we got to go down there. You can see the waterway in back where they're having the picnic before the kid get killed in the kite. You can see the water out back. You can see the field. It's all still there. So along the way, you end up seeing other things. We stopped at the Lucerne Inn, which is a haunted 1700s inn. It's got like 5 bedrooms in it. It's huge, almost like the Shining Hotel in a way, but it's not as big, but it's got the same motif as it. So we stopped at that and took a look around. And I tell you, it's when you go around, you stop at certain things and see it. People that really dig it, and they had a blast. They speak it so highly of me. So I'm trying to tighten my game. I want to really get it down. I want to almost get like a menu. Maybe pinpoint where you want to go. So it's a work in progress, and I'm learning, but I got this down. So that fucking helps. And people, they see it because you can compare like the rock quarry scene in Pet Cemetery when he's walking around the corner and you see the rocks in the waterway. And he goes, "Not much longer now, Lewis." He goes, "You keep saying that." And you see Judd and them. You see the waterway, the rock quarry. It's still fucking there. The rocks in the middle are still formed the same way 20 years later. So people are just blown away because it looks like Hollywood right here in Maine, right here in a city,
And that's one of those things where Stephen King, he uses a lot of those locations in that state. So what is it about that state that Stephen King loves so much, in your opinion? What's going on with it? Now, I'm ashamed to say that I don't know as much of Stephen King as you do, but I'm very curious as to why Maine?
Like in The Body, a.k.a. Stand By Me. Everybody knows that. The kid gets killed by the train, right? The leech scene. Steve grew up in Durham, Maine. He grew up in Portland. He moved around a little bit. But when he finally started writing, I think it was around 9 years old, 9 until he was 18, until he went to college in Maine, which he went to, University of Maine. He lived in Durham, Maine. Durham is right next to Lisbon, Maine. I grew up in Lisbon. We went to Lisbon High School. Go Greyhounds. That's the same school he went to. My senior year, History Channel was there doing a thing about Steve because Durham doesn't have a high school. They go to Lisbon. It's literally next to the little town. So down the street from his house where he lived on Runaround Pond Road, there's a pond called Runaround Pond, and that's where he got leeches when he was a kid. I watched interviews. I've got them all saved on YouTube. If people go, "How do you know that?" Because people on Facebook and in real life, well, how do you know that? So I Photoshop, but not Photoshop, but I screenshot, and I take pictures and I do videos of documentaries of that he said things in, so I know. But that's where he got leeches. I think Maine, dude, it's a dead-end state. I love Maine. It's the only state in America that's only bordered by one state, New Hampshire. That's it. There's not a lot here, but at the same time, it's so fucking beautiful, but so eerie. So eerie. Our short, like right now, it gets dark at 3:30 p.m. during the wintertime. So the short seasons make it that way. Plus, this is where the Wendigo was brought up to be, a virtue against cannibalism for the Native Americans. Wendigo up in Minnesota, but there's a lot of Maine Wendigo lore. There's mermaids that have been seen off the Maine coast, as well as pirate ships back in the day that burned alive. You can still hear them in Bar Harbor next to Deer Island. They say there's a ghost ship where you can hear the slaves crying because the thing burnt down. So the pirate lore, Viking lore, then you got the Native American lore. Of course, the Redcoats were here. You got the King's Highway in Maine, which is where the King of England took when this was England, before New England. So I think Maine writes itself when it comes to that. Like if you look, what is it? Murder, She Wrote's based in Maine. I believe Drew, the little kid adventures there, that was based in Maine. It's just so much lore, and there's so much untapped. We're like 80% woods, and he still stays here. He's got his house in Bangor, but he does live in another part of Maine. It's by New Hampshire, Lovell, like Lovell, West Lovell. He lives next to Bridgeton, Maine, and he's wrote about Bridgeton in his books. He's wrote about Lewiston when he got hit by that truck. When he was reading a book on the side of the road, he got hit by a truck walking like 10 years ago. He went to Lewiston Central Maine Medical Center where I was born. And then he made Kingdom Hospital out of that. You know what a fun fact about that is? That dude that hit him in the truck, he died a year later on Stephen King's birthday. And he's buried in Maine. I'm going to see his grave.
You know, that is haunting as hell.
The guy that hit Stephen King died on Stephen King's birthday the next year.
Yeah, what are the odds, right?
I don't mean to laugh.
I mean, no, it's wrong, but no, I get it. It's kind of it's ironic, really. So, if one would take even a small percentage of the history and the lore of Maine, you can barely scratch the surface. There's so much to cover.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, New England itself is great. Rhode Island, you have the Rhode Island vampires. Connecticut, you have the Jewett City vampires, as well as the Melonheads, those guys with bulbous heads. Then you got Massachusetts, where you got Lizzie Borden. You got Salem, Plymouth Rock. Jaws was filmed in there. Hocus Pocus was filmed there. I've been to those spots. UB Halloween. New Hampshire's got some witches of their own. Couple mermaid tales, and then you got Maine. Maine's as big as all of New England put together, and just as crazy. And you go to grave sites, bro. There's grave sites that say like 1685. It's got the skulls and crossbones, straight out of Tim Burton Beetlejuice. New England ain't no joke, man. That's why everybody goes, oh, growing up in Maine, gotta get out of here. There's not a lot here. Maine sucks. I'm making a fucking living off Maine between the tours, between the educational shit, not even including my booking agency and podcasts, all that shit. Just my own personal YouTube and the tours alone. I've made some good money off Maine. So yeah, I don't need to leave for what? You know what I mean? So
well, here's the thing with that, because your love of that state, it kind of shows, especially with the history of it. You know, that's why I think it looks like it comes very easy to you, but you do a lot of homework, though, at the same time.
It doesn't feel like homework, dude. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people watch reality TV shows. I think like you said before, Raph, too, you're pretty much 100% about this show. Sure, you work out, you got your family, but I don't play in men's pickup basketball leagues. I don't do horseshoes. I don't go to VFW and have beer and drink. There's nothing wrong with any of that. It's just in my free time, man, I'm watching documentaries. I'm writing shit down. And now with my clients, I'm doing research for them. And it with my ADHD, man, and being, a little bit disabled from my car accident, I only work part-time, so I got to fill up my days with something. And it's fun. It's fun to get to know shit. It's fun to, it's fun to, I'm coming off a cold. It's fun to educate people, and it's fun to educate myself. Because a lot of times I look around going, oh, no shit. Wait a minute. The first ever commercially sold chewing gum came from Bradford, Maine. The first ever gum ever bought was made by a guy from Bradford, fucking Maine. Look it up, because I've been there, and it says from Bradford, the home of spruce gum. I did research. He learned a recipe from the Native Americans, and he learned to make spruce gum from spruce trees. He sold it for a couple of years in Portland, Maine. It didn't make a lot of money. He went to Boston, made more money. Look it up. First ever commercially sold chewing gum, Bradford, Maine. I went to the town. There's one store in town, and they ain't got no spruce gum. And I asked them, you're the fucking home of spruce gum. You ain't got one thing I can buy? Because I'm the type of guy where if I go somewhere, I want, you know what I mean? And they didn't have it. But yeah, man, that's literally between my house and Bangor. Appalachian Trail, where it ends in Maine. That's where I live. Mount Katahdin, way up there where you first see the sun in America. Cadillac Mountain, all that shit way up there, man. And yeah, spruce gum, the first ever commercially sold chewing gum, that came from Maine. I didn't know that until a year ago. So I'm still learning, brother.
Always something to learn. And you touched on something you said earlier, and I could 1000% agree. I'm similar with you. Once I stopped wrestling, I really had nothing else going on because that's all I ate. That's all I breathed. That's all I essed. It was all about it, right? Fast forward many years later in 2020, once I started podcasting, started doing the research, reading the books, and especially when I have the own brand now, it doesn't feel like work, although it's a ton of work to do. When I'm not at work or doing some physical activity at the gym, because, I try to stay in shape into my old age now, where if I'm not watching a documentary, listening to a podcast, or reading a book, I'm writing down the notes, preparing for the show. And, I feel the same way as you. I'm like that guy that I'll talk to you about podcasting all day long and supernatural and Bigfoot. And people are like, okay, man, that's enough of that. But, the passion is there,
It never gets old for me. I could talk fucking ghost and history and movie shit because then you talk about what? Well, the weather. Okay, so the weather, big deal. I get it. It's cold out. Next, it's going to change tomorrow. Politics, don't get me fucking started. I could give a fuck about anybody that thinks they're in control of a massive amount of people is bullshit. Well, presidents aren't what they used to be. I don't give a fuck. But anyway, that's another topic. I don't care. Religion, I believe in some sort of force, all that good stuff. But how far can you start talking about all that shit until people just start arguing with you? They don't want to hear it. They have different. When you talk about history or events, everybody just goes, wow, really? No kidding. Wow. They don't fight because it's all cool. It's not, you're not picking a side, dude. The movie was filmed here. Whether you like it or not, it's true. And if you're into that, let's talk. And if you're not, that's cool. I probably don't need to talk to you anyway. I don't need to know about fucking flowers or the new NASCAR team or all that shit. I love my Chicago Bears, dude, and I don't even watch football that much anymore. I'm constantly trying to reinvent myself. I'm constantly trying to stay ahead of the game. I'm constantly trying to be different. I don't want to be out there going, hey, guys, come get a large pizza and go to the haunted house with me and spend the night for $300. Fuck that. No. I want something different. I want you to take the tour with me, and then we can go hang out after, and maybe I'll book you as a client. We can talk about that. Like, I want I want to make a wave in this world, not even this field. And yeah, man. And I feel like people like you, me, people that think outside the box, Raph, like Nate, man, we got ourselves some good friends, good teams, and we know what it's about. We're not bullshitters. That's why I came on your show. I say no to some shows. I don't need to go on every fucking show. I'm not a para whore. But I go to the ones I respect and I like. And, man, I tell you what, Raph, Diego, you're doing it right, man. You've been doing this for, you've been doing this your whole life. But since you've made the switch, you're very professional at what you do, and I respect that.
I appreciate that, man. I feel the same way about you because I think from the first day you and I actually talked on the phone, it's been like, peas and carrots.
Yeah,
and it's pretty awesome. You have a great roster of clients, but before we get into that part, because we just touched on we say you're very busy. We just touched on the tour, so let's move on to something else that you're also involved with. Your Historically Haunted Vodcast. You have tons of great guests, and I've been listening. I was called the back catalog because when I'm at work, I play in the background, and you got some pretty impressive guests on that show. So if you give us a long short of the guests you've had on lately and who are they? What have they done?
Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to real quick because with me, I like to do the background. I like it. So when someone gets done hearing it, they don't go, well, what if? So it started a long time ago, man. I got in my car accident. As you know, my mom died. I was homeless. I was living in the back of a flea market in Maine in this fucking RV that I bought for $2,000, this Fleetwood Bounder, and it worked for a little bit and then it didn't work. So it was fucking cold. So I got a call one day, or I got a text on Facebook. This guy, Ross Rapazzo from the Paranormal King Radio Network based out of Canada, calls me and he says or messaged me on Facebook, wants to do an interview with me. And I say, all right. So we did an interview like a week later. I'm back on my I'll never forget it. I'm back on my sofa in this Bounder, freezing my nuts off, sitting there fucking in Maine, wondering what I'm doing with my life. Nothing at all. No show, nothing. And me and my girl had taken time apart, so I was kind of single and fucking miserable, just smoking and drinking every day. So I go on the show, and he gets done talking to me right after the show, and he goes, you know what? He goes, you have great knowledge, great energy. You're a talker. Do you want your own radio show? I go, really? Me? And he gave it to me, the Historically Haunted Show. I did that for a year and a half. Every Friday, I went live for an hour. And it was just audio only, no visual. And it was a legit radio show, commercials and the whole nine. And I got paid $20-$30 a month from this guy to be his DJ, his head DJ. And I started reaching out to people. You know, when my mom died, I went and met Annabelle. I paid money. I get some money after my mom passed away. I went to Connecticut. I met Tony Spera. You know who Tony is? He's the son-in-law of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Ed and Lorraine Warren, everybody knows them, the biggest ghost hunters or whatever. Their daughter, Judy, married Tony. So I met all them. I saw Annabelle, the Conjuring, Mira. You know, everybody knows the Conjuring, the whole nine. New England Society for Paranormal Psychic Research. That's NESPR. That's Ed and Lorraine Warren, the godfathers of ghost hunting's group. It was taken over by Tony and Dan Rivera, all these people. So I did the radio show, and I would have a couple friends on, and then I started asking them. They're bigger. And then you get them on. They knew me, and they said, fuck it. People like to come on and talk about themselves, right? So they did. So after a while, then people are going, wow, you're really getting big guests. And I'm just like, all I'm doing is asking. And my whole 4 years of doing podcasts and radio shows, only 2 people have ever said no to me. And they're in the field. People like them, and I don't. And people know who they are. I'm not going to name drop them anyway, but I'm sure they wish I didn't say no now. But anyway, so I did that for a year, and then I started seeing podcasts. And then someone's like, you should do your own podcast. And I was like, well, I don't know how to. And then I did StreamYard, and I kind of honestly self-taught myself because unless I'm like literally on the side of the road dying for like water, I'm not going to ask anybody for help. I guess I'm old school like that. I just do it myself. So I did the show, and then I did the podcast, and then the show kind of went away, and the podcast stuck, and I kept Historically Haunted, but I did Vodcast because it's a visual podcast, something different. So that started the first season, not too bad, and I got some good people on there. And then season 2 got bigger. I got Jeff Mudgett. Jeff Mudgett's the great-great-grandson of H.H. Holmes, America's first serial killer. I got him on there because I've been to H.H. Holmes' house in New Hampshire where he grew up in Gilmington. It's still there, where he supposedly killed his cousin and all that stuff. And so we talked to him. Next thing you know, I'm talking to Dustin Perry from Ghost Hunters. Then I'm getting Tony Spera on my podcast. So I'm doing my thing and I'm talking, and then season 3 is not quite underway. And I end up, long story short, watch this, which it's not short with me. I'm sorry. I apologize, but I got to get this out there. So I ended up seeing this John Campanino guy. He made a documentary about Stephen King. And in this documentary, he's pinpointing all the fucking actors that were in it. And he pinpoints Donnie Green. And you know what? If it's out there, it's fair game. I'll fucking friend poach all day. That's how I'm friends with Sandy Johnson, Mike Myers' sister from Halloween. 1974 Miss Playboy Playmate is my friend and was my guest because I found her on a documentary and I looked her up on Facebook. And now she's my friend. So Donnie, I asked Donnie to be on my show, and Donnie was. And then Donnie got off my show, and he knows about my story about me being homeless, and I have a home now, and I died in an accident for 38 seconds, and I saw my mom and the whole nine. He goes, I'd like to sponsor your show. He's like, I'd like to be partners with you. He's like, I'd like you to represent me. This is how the whole booking thing started, right? The podcast, everything. Facebook has made me. I know people give Facebook shit. It's because they have little drama bullshit. They talk about their shitty lives. But if you use it the right way, you network. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you instead of just going, peas and carrots again, or, because I don't like my coffee this way. Fuck you, Dunkin' Donuts. Instead of bitching about modest everyday bullshit, I actually use it to like expand my knowledge and to help people and to find things out. And son of a bitch, if I don't get paid because of Facebook, I made a pretty good dime off it. Not trying to brag. So long story short, dude, Donnie's hit me up. He gave me a blank check. He gave me a hat and he gave me some things. And I still got the check to this day. He goes, fill it in what you need for a year's membership, a year thing. And he goes, I'm going to do signings at meet and greets. The truck from Pet Cemetery, the red truck that was used that killed Gage, has been refurbished. It's in Maine. I know that because I've been following it. He told me that. I already knew it. I represent them now, and they want to go around to conventions next year, and they want you to sit in the Pet Cemetery truck and take pictures with the guy that killed the kid and all that shit, all because of my podcast. So that started the booking thing, because when you got Donnie Green as a client and you got the truck, let's try other people. So now it's all intertwined, which I love it. It definitely keeps me busy. It's not like I get up in the morning and go, what can I do today? If I'm not working my part-time job at 20 hours a week, 15 hours a week, whatever it is, or seeing my girlfriend or driving to see her, I'm fucking on my computer, looking up conventions, looking up shows, looking up guests for my clients, looking up guests for me, looking up ways I can share and promote. And I do it pretty much solo. My girlfriend helps me out, but it's pretty much all me. I don't have no one helping me really. So yeah, man, I just started reaching out to people. I know this beats away from your question. It's just like with Sandy Johnson. I started seeing people that Donnie was friends with and other people. And I see Sandy Johnson was Judith Myers in the 1978 Halloween. Mike Myers' first kill. Remember, she was doing her hair and Mike killed her. I looked her up. I said, hey, would you want to come on my show? She goes, absolutely. I go, oh, my God. So I had her on my show, and I did research. She was Miss Playboy in 1974 or 76. She was in Playboy. She was a centerfold to boot. Then she was in Gas Pump Girls and these other movies. So then I told her that. Next thing you know, she's like, wow, you did your research on. So I got her on. There's a thing. I had Dr. Satan on. He played Dr. Satan in Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects. I had him as a guest, Walter Phelan, Phelan. I'm still friends with him. I had the guy that played Texas Chainsaw. I had a guy that did the Pet Cemetery bed that the sister's on with the back scoliosis there, David Greenberg. So I start reaching out and I just say, fuck it. These people shit too. We all have farts and sneezes. They're going to want to talk about themselves. So I throw it to the wind. Once in a blue, they're busy. Sarah French was busy for 3 months. I'm working on Tom Araya's wife, Slayer's wife right now. She's actually a spiritualist there. I forget her name. Jennifer Araya, I think. I'm working on getting her and maybe Tom on. Imagine having Slayer's lead singer on as your show. Get the fuck out of here. So I figure worst to worst, they're going to say no. I did ask G.G. Allen, shock rocker who died. Yeah, he's buried in New Hampshire. I've been to his grave. You guys ever heard of G.G. Allen? You ever heard of him?
I have not.
He used to fucking eat his own shit on stage and cut himself with blood. Really sick fuck. Really. He used to go up there and get naked and he'd get arrested for exposure and he'd piss on people. Really shock rock hardcore. He's dead now. Died of an overdose. But he's from New Hampshire. But his brother Merle was going to come on, but he wanted $100. I said, oh, fuck that. I'm not paying no one. So, I got other options. I've asked a lot of people, and then I like to mix it in because I figure if the big people draw people in and go, wow, Adam's getting people, they're going to look at the littler people. I mean that with all due respect. They're going to look at people and go, well, fuck, this guy must be good. If he was on there, Sandy Johnson was on there, this guy Raph must be good. Then they get exposure. And I don't want to just get someone on just to kiss my ass or kiss their ass. Fuck that. When you died in a car accident, you were homeless. Nothing's been handed to you, dude. Your mom's dead. I have no one's ass to kiss, Raph. Diego, I got no one. I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks of me. So I only want people on my show that I like, and that's it. There's some people that have snuffed me in this world, and I'm not going to have them on my show. I'd rather not. I'm good.
You know, that's interesting. As you were talking about that earlier, a couple of minutes ago, you mentioned that there's only been a couple of people that turned you down, said no for the show. Interesting enough, last month, I know it's not about me, but it's kind of funny. I sent out some feelers out for somebody, supposed to come on my show, and then it was a guy who did XYZ, UAPs, UFOs. Read his bio. I sent him a feeler. And then a couple weeks later, he returns the email and says, well, thanks for reaching out, but I'm not really a good fit for your show. I'm like, but wait a minute. My show hits. I didn't respond. I just, okay, fine, delete the email. But my show hits all the notes. But I think we kind of know where this guy is going, what he may be about. That's fine. Doesn't hurt my feelings. But to your credit, you've helped me on this show get couple of good guests. I think there's another one coming on. We're going to sit up to date, but you, of course, with Tombstone Paranormal, they did a great job on the podcast not long ago. And Nomar Slevik was on, and in fact, his episode is going to drop on December 3rd.
I can't wait.
What a story he has. So I have to thank you for that. And so I get it, man. You got to go out there. Like you said, when I'm at work, if I take a lunch break, go to my car, check my phone, I'm just answering people, hey, you want to come on the show? I'll do my research. When I get home, hit the gym, eat dinner, I get on there. Then I take my shower. After the shower, has everybody responded? This is a 24/7 operation. You more than anybody else. I don't think there's enough days of the week for you.
Well, I see. It's funny because you're always sharing shit too. Next thing you know, it's like Diego. It's like, oh, co-host Diego, Raph Munoz, just share. I'm like, wow. But just like with you, you're your own promoter. You're your biggest, not your own promoter. I'm your promoter too. But you know what I mean? Like you're your biggest. If you don't believe in you, Joe Schmo can't believe in you. About pretty much all my clients, maybe one or two. And I shouldn't even say that, but honestly, most of my clients are like, fucking, let's go. They're not like, oh, what do I do now? Like some are. Was one or two that are kind of like, what do I, but the most of them are just like, let's fucking go. What do you got for me? Like you. I'm like, I got Nomar. You're like, send him over. You didn't question him. You didn't say, what's his background? You trust me. And I'm not going to fucking set you up for failure, brother. So you know what? And that's the same thing with you. You're sending guys my way. That guy that's doing that convention that you sent the package to, you sent me a care package. I can't wait to get my shirt. And you sent, yes, don't forget, guys, Diego's got merchandise right now. Check it out. I'm his agent, so I can say that. I don't care if it's taking up my time. Check out co-host Diego. Check out, he's got shirts, he's got hat, he's got merch. You get a lot more on the way. Check it out because I'm getting my own shirt. I'm going to rock that on my podcast here in a couple of weeks. But honestly, dude, you got to, man. And I don't know, man. Life's, I don't know if I'm awake. I don't know if it's the car accident. I don't know if it's loss of family. Like even my active family now, my sisters don't even know that I'm an agent. My sisters don't even know that I do tours. They don't care. They don't see on Facebook. They don't listen. I don't think they do. They don't ever ask me. They don't ever, my dad, none of them, I don't have any cousins or uncles that message me knowing, hey man, none of them. I have more people on Facebook wishing me happy Thanksgiving through Messenger and in real life. And when I was in a car accident, Jim Brown and his wife donated like $300, to my GoFundMe. And they're my agents too. Or they're my clients too. So people came through, man, because my family is not there. So I think when it comes down to it now, I don't have the everyday, so-and-so's anniversary. I don't know, man. It sounds bad, but I don't live like normal people. I don't have everyday engagements like most people. When I'm fucking home, I'm home. I DoorDash a little bit for shits and giggles and extra money because it's fun. Sometimes I get free food. But for the most part, dude, I'm face deep in this shit. And to me, it's life, just like with you, Diego, man. I mean, if you ain't fucking busting out a workout, which is part of your life, or taking a shower, whatever, bettering yourself, making yourself better, you're learning, you're writing, you're constantly evolving. You weren't a podcaster at heart. Neither was I, dude. I'm still fucking new. It's my third year, and I still don't know what I'm doing half the time on StreamYard. I go, what the fuck do I do here? I get all confused. So it's a couple of guys shooting the breeze. We're learning life, and we're talking real. And I think that's what people like about me. They always tell me, they go, wow, you don't hold back. And you don't write questions down, and you're not scripted. I go, no, man, I just, whatever, dude. Peace out. You don't like it? Suck it. Like, whatever. And I think people genuinely want that realness. And I guess it took me dying for 38 seconds to get it, because I used to be very meek, very people pleaser, oh, come on my show. Okay, yeah, okay, well, okay. Now I'm like, fucking get the fuck out of here. Come on, people go, oh, I love that attitude. So it changed me, brother. It did, man. I don't know, for the better, I think.
One of those things, because it depends on your life experience. After, like you say, you died for 38 seconds. That's going to change everything. I don't care what anybody says. That's kind of a almost like a restart button.
Dude, thank you. Fucking, I went blank, man. I saw pearly gates. I saw fire. It was just blank. Like lost. I remember ordering a pizza from Little Caesars, pizza, and telling my girlfriend I just left therapy. I actually had mental therapy where I used to go to my therapist or counselor, whatever the fuck you want to call her. I cried to her for an hour every Thursday. She probably, out of the stuff she must have thought about me. Oh my God. So I leave there. I go to the little record store there, and I pull over to the Bull Moose in Maine in Scarborough, and I order the pizza. And then I order the pizza. I told my girlfriend, I ordered it. I'm leaving now because I pulled over to call. I don't drive and speak. And I remember pulling out of there, and I get in the car accident probably about 4 miles up. Because I don't remember shit. I remember ordering the pizza. I woke up and my pants cut off me in the ambulance, and the guy going, all right, standing above me with 2 paddles, going, oh, hey, there he is. Whoa, okay, you know where you are? I'm like, I'm going, what the fuck? And I'm just crying, blood everywhere, my head, fucking couldn't remember shit, dude. It really catapulted me because I've always had ADHD. I've always had a little bit of hyperness, but I've never been able to express it or retain things. But ever since that accident, man, it's like I'm the Rain Man of history. I mean, I'm not saying that I know everything by any means, but when I know something, motherfucker, I hold on to it. And I may have some of the years, like I might say 1936, and it's really 37. So I might not be spot on, but for the most part, man, I'm pretty effective. So I thought to myself, why just waste this talent? So I said, fuck it, let's do the vodcast, let's do the tours. And even that's not enough to the point where I got to book people and I got to find out their fucking information and then I retain that shit. People were tying into the podcast. I'm like, oh, there's so-and-so from so-and-so Paranormal. Like, I don't know. I just hold it in there. So it could be used for bad. I could be learning how to make pipe bombs and whatever and how to steal people, human trafficking. But instead, I'm learning how to do tours and spread the knowledge of shit, I guess. I don't fucking know, man.
Well, those kind of things you really don't want to learn. That's dangerous for your health. as they say.
Weed's okay though. I smoke a lot of indica to help me calm down. I got free weed. I go to the place. I'll mention you in the podcast. Triple Goddess Cannabis and Apothecary, Brownville, Maine. Thanks for the free joint.
My goodness. Well, hey, that's all right. If it helps you out, man, that's good.
It does. I don't do any other hard drugs. I used to cocaine and way, teenager, but I haven't touched anything. I drink a little bit of beer and I smoke my weed, and that's it. It helps me stay. I got my 5 packs for $20. Look at that, 5 gram-and-a-half size joints, 5 of them, $20, bro. It's $5 a joint.
That's a better price than I was getting when I was in high school, man.
I was going to say that's less than $5 a joint, and they're not pinners. There's no seeds. Like, are you kidding me? So I do that, dude, and then I got my laptop down. I got my notebook, usually my client notebook, and I'll write down things, and I'll go, okay, so Raf's got a podcast coming up with so-and-so. All right, promote so-and-so. And I'll constantly look at who do you think would be, like Nomar, man. Nomar's a perfect fit for your show. Anything would be. You're a pretty laid-back dude. You just let me spew my venom here for an hour. But Nomar must have blew your mind. You guys back and forth must have been great. I can't wait to listen and watch that.
I know with that one, I think I didn't even scratch the surface, but it's the way he told the story. It was almost, I was captivated by the way he told it, and I think that the listeners will as well. I think you'll like that episode too. He's doing awesome things right now, but going back to your call it talent agency of sorts, because you're the agent of the stars. Other than Donnie, because I know that was a great find. That's a great client to have, and I'm going to say this: the movie doesn't work without Donnie Scene.
I agree. I think, you watch the newer ones and shit, they don't really focus on the driver, but him singing the Ramon. He told me, he goes, I get hit up by more Ramones fans than I do Stephen King fans, because he sings Sheena was a punk rocker. Goes, I was singing it and they had an earpiece in my ear. There's a guy spread eagle on the hood recording me going on the road at 20 miles an hour. He goes, oh yeah. He goes, we stopped the truck about 40 feet in front of the kid. It was all mirror and stuff. I go, really? So he came at me. He says, "You're gonna book me. So he calls me on the phone. What's up, Adam?" He's a Maine boy himself. He actually grew up working at Dice Hearts, which is the truck stop's been on Saturday Night Live. Crispy, cracky, crust. They talk about their pies because they make food there too. That's actually the inspiration for Maximum Overdrive trucks. The truck stop is Dice Hearts in Bangor. Stephen King would eat there because it's right next to Bangor, right next to Orono. Where he went to college, and that was inspiration for that. Donnie, the truck driver, used to be a gas jockey there. He told me in the interview, I drove the truck around. He goes, Mary Lambert, the producer and director of the original Pet Cemetery, and Stephen King wanted him to do the truck there, right there in the parking lot. They watched him take the truck around. They said, you're hired. So then that's led to me talking to Marlon Taylor. I got Marlon Taylor on now. Marlon says he's got his own booking agent, but he says that if I can get him conventions and shows in New England, that I get 10% of whatever he makes if I book him. Marlon Taylor was the only black boy, the only black kid in the Losers Club in the original It with Pennywise. The one that had the book on his lap and stuff like that. That's Marlon Taylor. He's an awesome dude. I got Marlon's phone number. I talked to Marlon. And now I just signed yesterday, Stacey Johnson. She played Pennywise in the remake of It. In the scene when Georgie gets his arm ripped off the fucking collar right in the... that's her. Bill Skarsgård plays Pennywise. But if you look, Stacey Johnson, look it up. She played Pennywise. When Pennywise got blue eyes, that's her. Green eyes, yellow eyes, Bill. So she was on both movies, both scenes, and she just signed with me today. So I literally have Hollywood people mixed in with everyday people, mixed in with my girlfriend, mixed in with the truck. And they're all trusting me. They're all just like, I have no credentials. I didn't sign no contracts. I didn't give no one nothing. They just all gave me money and said, here you go. But but it's something I guess people see in me because I'm not going to, what do I do? Take their fucking money and $100 and just run? For what? And be known in the world as a skifer and fucking have that karma? No, man. I saw one of my clients, I got him Tony Sparrow on his show. Another one of my clients, Nate, wanted to be a speaker. Guess what? I got him speaking. He spoke at the Salem convention with me, right on stage with me. Nate fucking is tickled pink. So I've been getting you some good guests, and I'm just, man, I'm swinging at the fences. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm some stoner from Maine who just turned 44 who's died before. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a booking agent. Everyone's like, okay, you are. I'm like, okay. But like you said, Raph, you got to believe in yourself, Diego. That's why you do what you do. You got to be your number one. You got to, because no one's going to believe you if you don't believe your own shit.
100%. And, you brought up the movie earlier. I know it's a tangent. Maximum Overdrive.
Ooh.
Is that a criminally underrated movie or what? I find it quite enjoyable.
Stephen King's his directorial debut. It's the first movie he directed personally. I'm also friends with the guy that owns, the Green Goblin head, the little Green Goblin.
That's the best part of the movie.
I'm friends with the guy that owns that truck. I want to try to get him on my show. He's looking at this background. It's there. Send him a friend request. He'll accept it. I want to try to represent him. He brings the Green Goblin head, not the truck. The truck's gone, but the head's been kept and refurbished. He got it, and he tours with that. And I want to try to get him and Donnie together at a convention. That'd be fucking amazing. Underrated movie. I know it's got weird scenes and it's cheesy and it's 80s, but great soundtrack. AC/DC, great soundtrack. Yeah, that's a classic, brother. Absolutely.
I mean, it's got Emilio.
We made you. That's my girlfriend Heather Kiminiti, Witch and Life Guide. Check her out, guys. She makes her own stuff. Check this out. She made these for the convention. She sold a bunch there. Mike Myers earrings.
Yeah.
She makes all that shit, jewelry, bracelets, and stuff. We made you. That's her part. Yeah. So, I mean, and I'm not trying to ride his coattails. There are people that ride his coattails. There are people in Maine that do tours. There's SK tours. And they'll bring you to his house and the Standpipe and Paul Bunyan. But I can go to places where they don't bring you, like the Mill in Harmony, like his house in Lisbon. And then I also bring you to places where like Al Brady got killed. Al Brady, after Bonnie and Clyde and Tom Dillinger died and got killed. Al Brady was America's Most Wanted in 1937. He came from Indianapolis, Indiana, came to Maine to buy Tommy guns at a hunting store, Dakin's Sporting Goods, downtown Bangor. They go, give us a couple of days, you're going to order it. They flagged down the FBI. J. Edgar Hoover was in Boston. They sent up 15 men, put them on the rooftops. They came back to get the guns. These fucking dudes shot them in the streets as murals of Al Brady. Have you seen Stephen King's movie? There's a guy on some tracks laying in the thing in the alleyway there. There's a guy on the tracks laying there dead, and there's cops looking over him. That's Al Brady. He's actually buried in Mount Hope Cemetery, where Stephen King played the Reverend in Pet Cemetery. I've been to his grave, Alfred Brady. He's in the Jewish section. It says 1937 right on it. The place he got killed, right? Dakin's Sporting Goods, right outside is a little placard, a little brick that says Al Brady, America's Most Wanted, get shot and killed here in 1937 by the FBI. And in that store, it's now a bookstore. And I bought a Stephen King book there, Fairy Tale, a couple months ago. All connected.
Brother, let me tell you this, though. I've been on tours before. Not these types of tours, but, I've been in caverns. I've been in little town trips and stuff. Some people, not all, a lot of them have the script on them. They say the script, or they'll actually memorize the facts, but they got to think when people ask them the questions, they really got to think about it. Yeah. But with you do it just like a vodcast, no script. Everything's in your head. How do you keep it in there, man? How do you keep it so fresh?
I fucking don't get it. I sang in a band too, Culling the Herd. For 5 years in Maine. I wrote my own songs. I got a CD that I made. Like I said, I was in a little garage band. These fucking guys are in there smoking weed, drinking beer. I joined this band, dude. Within 3 years, we opened up for Mushroom Head and Il Nino. We made our own CD at Huston University in $1 million recording studio. And we had an offer to sign with a record deal. I'm not trying to say because of me, but I fucking pushed that, brother. They didn't have shit. And then next thing you know, I'm like, we're opening up for Mushroom Head next month in Auburn, Maine. And I get the video of them. And I met them. And you ever heard of Mushroom Head? They're like Slipknot from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah. I opened up for them. And Il Nino, they're from Brazil, like almost like a Soulfly type band. And yeah, man, we did a CD, Culling the Herd. It's got a Grim Reaper on it, man. Fucking Time to Kill. I used to love it, dude. And I memorized the lyrics. That was before my accident. So I think I've always had it. Like, I used to watch wrestling, dude. And my mom used to always tell me, she goes, man, if all your tests in high school were about wrestlers' theme songs or finishing moves, you'd be 100% A student. Because as soon as I go, oh, Shawn Michaels, Bushwhackers, Jimmy Evil Heart, whatever the fuck. I just, when I know something, man, like Bears, I know all their backup punters. I know fucking Jim McMahon's backup and fucking Walter Payton's third string running back behind him, Matt Suey. I knew them all. I just retained that shit. So instead of focusing on I love wrestling and football, but this history shit, this movie shit, this ghost shit, that's getting me fucking. And it's not about money, but goddamn it is, man. Life, it's hard. Any way you can make an extra buck,
Yeah, and sometimes it's getting the knowledge and meeting the people is pretty much the payment in itself, because sometimes it's not always about the money,
No.
but it's okay, because it's okay to make a living off of what you love to do.
Someone told me that they go, wow, they go, you should definitely be a booker full time. I go, well, it's only a one-time fee, but with clients like Donnie and Stacy and Marlon, I get 10% of their stuff, their autographs, whatever they make at conventions, I'm going to get 10%. If I book them for a show, they make $3,000, I'm going to make $1,000 or whatever. So that is kind of neat. And there's scumbag pieces of shit that do that all over the world. So why not have a decent guy? I'm not saying I'm not a weasel. I'm just saying, man, this is as real as it gets. Of course, I got enemies. I get it. But I have no reason to bullshit anybody. I'm out here doing my thing. I give you my address gladly, because I have nothing. It's like, whatever, dude, man. Life's too short. So I'm going at it like, I think people see that. They go, this guy's going at it like he's got nothing to lose. This guy just thinks he's the shit, but in a good way. But I'm very humble too. Like when I went to the Warren convention, I ended up going outside to go smoke a joint with some people in the car. And they go, the girl goes, I can't believe I'm smoking. Adam Deegan smoking a joint in my car. And her husband, they run a paranormal team. He's like, I know. He goes, this is the fact that he's even in our car. I'm like, me? Like, what the fuck? What? So I don't even know, man. We all piss. We all shit. We're all human. It's just what you do with it, man. I don't want to be associated with scumbags, but we're all, for the decent ones, man, like you, Raph, you're out there busting your hump, making a living. You're not getting sponsored or promoted. There's no one behind you pushing you, but you're doing it for your love. And that's how I've been doing it. And I'm going to get you a sponsor because you deserve it. You deserve to have all the guests, man. I tell you, man, I see what you're doing, and you're a promotion machine on Facebook too. You're very humble, but you're definitely right up there. Man, you share your friend shit all the time, and I love it.
No, I mean, I got to support those that support me, because what kind of friend would I be? I'd be kind of a piece of shit if I didn't help my friends,
Why can't we make more people like you? Why can't there be more people like you? Why can't more people be like you?
Well, I think you have quite a great guys on your roster as well. Of course, me. I'm probably, I want to toot my own horn, but beep, beep. You know what I'm saying?
Beep,
so,
beep, beep.
So you spoke about the Warrens real quick, and this question kind of came up to my mind. And did Hollywood get it right with the Warrens?
If you listen to Tony, he says the first Annabelle is probably the closest one to the truth. The rest of them aren't, because Judy was older when they found Annabelle. A lot of it's Hollywood. A lot of the Conjuring shit. Like say Bathsheba was made up, even though there is a gravestone that says Bathsheba. They say she wasn't so much a witch as she was a common, a peddler woman, which I guess they did claim to be witches back then in Dogtown and shit. But from what they say, not so much. I mean, dude, I've been to graveyards at midnight by myself. I've been inside, not that it's a good idea, but I've been to some fucked up places. I spent all night at Lizzie Borden's house, me and my girlfriend Heather, and I've seen some shit, but nothing crazy demonic like everybody claims. I don't know if it's because I have good faith or because I'm not saying there's not, but I think it's not as much as people think. I think people just automatically jump on that whole, because they want that, even though they don't. Because you need to tell me, dude, like, I love what I do. Paranormal investigators are all great people, but we don't go to college for this. Literally, all you need to do is just, like, show up. So you're going to put an untrained regular person with a skull and crossbones shirt, with the fucking with silver necklaces and a bunch of little REM pods. You're going to put them in an old morgue, an old mortuary, an old insane asylum where thousands, hundreds of people were fucked up. And you're going to put them in there, and you're not going to expect to rile things up. Sometimes you can't be careful playing with fire. I tell you, man, some of these people are fucking. So I don't know. From what I've seen, because I met Annabelle face to face, and to me, you're not going to, as much as I love her, to put her in front of people like that at a convention, I don't think you're going to display that shit if it's that crazy haunted. I'm not trying to dismiss anything. I don't know, man. It's weird. I got to be careful what I say, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Do you think something's that fucking crazy bad in life?
Potentially, yeah.
Exorcist shit, I guess it could be. And I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying if it is, you kind of hide that away. So I don't know. I don't know if it's all movie shit. I don't know if it's all for show. I don't know if it's all real. I've heard the cases. I've never witnessed anything personally with anything the Warrens have done. They've been nothing but professional and nothing but really knowledgeable and treated me great. I just never personally experienced anything with that. You know what I mean?
Also, you have not then.
No, but I have gone to Union Cemetery in Connecticut, where Ed wrote his book Graveyard about. Union Cemetery in Connecticut. My girlfriend Heather was there. There's a big gray mist, and they say there's a gray lady that appears, and it was a gray mist that appeared. And right next to the cemetery is a big sinkhole where they found a dead body because someone murdered someone and buried them there back in a long time ago. That Union Cemetery is really fucked up in Connecticut. We experienced shit there. I have experienced things, just not so much with the Warren stuff. But whenever I'm there, it's convention. So you got 300 people, 400 people walking around with all different types of energy. So you don't know what the fuck's bouncing around in there, man. You know what I mean? Because I'm an empath anyway, and Heather too. She's a sensitive. So if someone's having a bad day because their cousin commits suicide, I'm feeling that from across the room, and my stomach hurts, and I'm like, what's going on? So you get those many people in there with the haunted items. It was definitely, whoo. Yeah.
But
personally, no.
All right. But I think with those conventions, I think that you'll get more people there that are in a great mood and just happy to be there. That perhaps even if you get the ones with the negative energy, I think the positive energy kind of eats it away.
Yep. Kind of burns through it, which is good. Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. So you know what's up. You got that side of you, man.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that on your podcast the other day. So I think you already uploaded. So
yes,
I would.
Historically Haunted on YouTube, guys. Check it out. It's the very last podcast. When I went to Lizzie Borden's, man, I got some shit there. I didn't sleep all night. That was the first time I pulled an all-nighter since I was a kid. That was pretty wild. Fall River, Massachusetts, right across from the courthouse that Aaron Hernandez went to trial at with the Patriots tight end there. Literally right across the street. So Fall River, we took a tour of the Historical Society, and I ended up schooling the guy on Lizzie Borden facts. He goes, whoa, you want to lead the tour? I go, oh, sorry. But he let me take pictures of the murder weapon, the axe that they had on display there, the one they legit found with blood. They let me take a picture of that. That was pretty wild.
I mean, that story's pretty messed up to begin with, man. Pretty brutal. That's very personal, too, to do something like that.
It's horrific. And then they say, I guess, about 5 or 6 years before those murders, next to Lizzie's house was Lizzie's aunt, Lizzie Borden's dad's sister. She went crazy and killed her 2 kids in the bathroom, in the basement with an axe, and then drowned herself or something like that, or poisoned herself in the same fucking land. Lizzie's relative, right next to the house, like 6 years before Lizzie killed her parents, supposedly.
And that kind of information never really made it out. I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing this because I'm not saying I'm an expert in that case, but I know pretty good amount of facts about it, but I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, the tour guide, Leanne, she passed away, but the old owner there, but she told us about that. There was the case there. Now it's just a plot of grass, but there was a house there, and it was Lizzie Borden's cousins got killed by the mother, and then she killed herself. And, oh man, sometimes you kick over a stone, you find a lot more than worms, my brother.
Absolutely. So, which brings me to because I opened up the show for questions, and then a good friend of ours has a couple of questions, and I know that it kind of ties in with everything we've been talking about. So I'm going to go with the first question that our good friend Nate asked you. So in regards to the Salem Paracon you guys did a couple of weeks ago, what was your favorite part about it?
Oh boy. I'd say speaking. I've never been asked to speak. I've been asked to go to conventions and all that good stuff, but to come to be a speaker on stage, and it was me and Nate's first time, so we're both nervous. We kind of closed the show Saturday, and I'm not saying everybody was just everybody's like, "Hi there, I'm so," and you know me, what's up, everybody? It was, woo! I go, okay, get your fucking hands up, and woo! Fucking. So I get them going. The old metalhead in me, maybe the old singer in me, or just the person in me. I'm like, I got them going. And I started dropping knowledge. I got up off my chair, my energy, and I'm telling people what's up. I shared it with Nate. Nate got his piece too. I'd say sharing the stage with him, just having 30, 40 people's eyes on me, getting told it was a good job, getting to see my girlfriend peddle her items that she put so much time in. That was her first time as a vendor. We have a big banner now. This is Adam Historian, Ghost Hunter, Witch and Life Guide, big rubber banner we got for like $40. So that was cool. That was awesome, especially in Salem. Goddamn knows I love Salem. Massachusetts is that's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show. Danvers next to Salem, right? Danvers was where Rebecca Nurse's homestead is, 1667. It's a red salt box house. She was the oldest person killed in the witch trials as a witch. She was 92, I think. They say her son and her husband cut her off the noose and brought her out back and buried her in the cemetery out back. There is a cemetery out back. There is another witch buried there. It's the only witch. It's a guy. I should know this, but I'm stoned right now. But it's the only witch that's you. Everybody else, they don't know where they went. They weren't supposed to bury them in cemeteries. It was holy land. But she's supposed to be buried out back. That's in Danvers. That's also where the homestead is, where Tituba, the black witch, the slave girl they got that taught the girls witchcraft. That's where that all started, the parsonage. They have the rock wall of the basement is there. The house is gone. Rebecca Nurse, you can go inside, but this is gone. That's in Danvers, as well as the oldest fruit tree, the oldest civilized fruit tree in America, 1685 by a pilgrim. It's the Endicott pear tree. It's got a black fence around it. It was a guy from the Mayflower planted it, and it's still here. It's got a black fence. It's got a big thing, and it still bears fruit. That's in Danvers too, man. I didn't write that shit down. It's right here because I went there. It was fucking wild. The oldest fruit tree in America, man.
Are you allowed to take the fruit?
Can't even go buy it.
Oh,
There's a big black 10-foot tall black iron fence around it. Like, I'll send you pictures later. It's a big fence. It's got a little placard that says this was planted by John Endicott, who came over on the Mayflower, and he planted this. This used to be his farmstead, and it was all burnt down by natives except for a couple trees. And out of all this years, the only one tree that still survived, one pear tree, and it had a little gray pear growing on it, a little green pear. I said, "Oh my God, the tree of knowledge." I fucking wanted a bite of that so bad I couldn't reach it. But that's in Danvers too. Danvers is great, right by Salem. Peabody used to be Salem. That's where the Boston Strangler, Albert DeSalvo. I've been to his grave. That's where he's buried at Puritan Lawn Cemetery. That's in Peabody, right next to Salem. And then you go to Marblehead. That's where Hubie Halloween was filmed, and Hocus Pocus, and The Good Son, and Macaulay Culkin. So in this fucking, oh man, sign up with me, guys. Historically Haunted Tours. Give me a couple bones, and I'll fucking show you some good shit for the day.
and so how would someone contact you about that tour?
That would, I guess, be on Facebook, my Facebook page, Historically Haunted Tours. Historically Haunted, just like it sounds, tours the same thing. It's got like a black mist thing out back with like a car driving into the forest with an eye, like a UFO eye staring at you. That's a profile picture. I found that online. I thought that was cool. I would like to make a new one, but for now, honestly, dude, I've only had one client, Danny and Lauren. That's it. And I've given tours to friends before I started this agency, and my girlfriend knows it all because I bring her all the time. But I'm always looking for new shit. Atlas Obscura, too. Like, by my place is this big Katahdin iron furnace that was built in the 1800s that they used to build minerals from. And I went and saw that. It's still there. So I try to look for shit all the time. There's a B-52 bomber crash site in Greenville, Maine, on Elephant Mountain I've been to. That's 45 minutes the other way from my house. And it's still there. 6 pilots from Massachusetts died there. 2 survived, but got frostbite, and there's pieces everywhere. I get the video on my YouTube. There's fucking fuel lodges over here. There's seats over here, parachutes in the trees. It's been there since the 60s, Raph, and it's still there. B-52 crash site, Greenville, Maine, Elephant Mountain. Look it up. I've been there, and I'll bring you there. I just haven't had no one really hit me up. I know it's winter in Maine. It gets dark at 3 p.m. Not a good time, but when spring comes, I'd love to. If there's time, we'll make it, and I'd love to show people the world if they want me to fucking bring them.
Man, it all sounds like an amazing tour. Then one last question related to the tours, all the question from Nate as well, which is based off the Stephen King tours. Ooh. Are there any locations that are synonymous with the Stephen King that has not yet to be on your tour that you haven't visited yet or you would like to visit?
Yeah, absolutely. In Acadia National Park. And that's actually where Cadillac Mountain is, which is where the first sunrise is seen in America. It's not Mount Washington, New Hampshire. It's Cadillac Mountain in Acadia National Park, Maine. Maine's only national park, and I believe New England's only national park. Maybe not right. But I haven't been to the Micmac burying ground. Remember at the end of it, they have those big rock piles, and you see the water on the land. Those are the blueberry. What is it? The blueberry fields or something it's called, between that and when they're walking up and you see all like the trees and they go, what's that, a loon? And that's Bubble Rock Path That's in Acadia National Park. So I haven't been to either of those two yet. I haven't been to the Micmac. And if you look up back, because I've watched like the Grim Life Collective goes and stuff like that, you see rocks piled up there still. I'd love to take a rock with me. There are rocks there still. So out of every place that's been filmed in Maine, that's honestly the only place I haven't gone. I've been to Storm of the Century sites. I've been to the hotel where they stay in Storm of the Century when they lock themselves in. That's a known classic. I've been to where they shot Casper. A little bit of Shutter Island was shot in Maine. Of course, the storm drain, the inspiration for Pennywise, I've been there. The standpipe that was superimposed in it, the big white pipe, I've been there. That's by King. So there's a lot I've been to. But as far as not going to, those are the only two. It's the Micmac and the trail leading to the Micmac. And they're far-fetched, man, because you got to go over here to Ellsworth. Remember they brought Victor Pascow up when he got hit in the head? And they go, he got hit by a truck. You got to save him. And he's bringing him up the path. The guy's fucking brains bleeding. That's Ellsworth Town Hall. The fucking staircase and the back bricks, circles and the bricks, same exact as it is now. I'll line it right up for you. I've been to that. But then you go to Bangor, the cemetery. You go to Hamden, Maine, where he taught, Hamden Academy. That's where he wrote Carrie. He wrote the gymnasium scenes based on Hamden Academy. I've been there. Down the road from that's where they filmed Creepshow 2, The Hitchhiker. You know, thanks for the ride, lady. When the guys on the thing, that was filmed in Maine, brother. I've been there. That's been filmed in Brewer, Bangor, and Hamden, and I've been to all those sites. That's where other people don't bring you is Creepshow. I've been to that. Thanks for the ride, lady.
That's the best part of that movie, man.
It's the best one. Yes. The other two are out west. The other two, like the Raft, I think is Colorado, and the Wooden Indian, I think is Nevada. But the Hitchhiker, like when she leaves in the morning, when she gets on screwing that guy and she see her boobs and she gets her shirt on and goes, she leaves and it says Franklin Place Condominiums. It's an overhang when she goes to her car where she comes out of, where she bangs that guy. It's still there. The awning's the same thing. I got a picture of it.
Man, steel trap memory with the facts. I love it. So before we go, my brother, 2023 is almost done, and that year went by pretty quick.
Yeah.
2024 on the way. What are the highlights for 2024? What's gonna come? What's gonna happen? What you got coming up? What are your plans?
True. Well, honestly, I really would like to. I know it's probably too late this year, but I want to get a convention in the works. I want to do a Stephen King convention, and I want all my clients, a part of Historically Haunted Booking LLC, I want them to be vendors and not pay a dime. I want to be able to set it up someplace where they can come and spend the night for free. All they have to pay for is their travel expenses. That's it. And I want to try to do that. I want to see where the vodcast goes. Donnie is supposed to be coming down from Florida and bringing me to go see the truck, which is in Jefferson, Maine, I believe, where VP Tamaro owns it. Mike Tamaro, I've talked to him. He's the one that refurbished it. And it's got a placard in it. Says this was used for Pet Cemetery, the whole nine. He's going to be driving that in the 4th of July parade in Bangor, Maine. And Donnie said he wants me to sit shotgun in the parade in the truck with him. So there's that. And then this Alien List movie, my newest client, Stacey Johnson, wants me to be in. We didn't really talk about that because I don't really know what's going on yet. But she says she really wants me to be in it. She thinks she's got a role for me in this film about this murderous alien. It's called the Alien List. It's going to have supposedly just big names in it. That's all we're going to say. Some people I grew up liking. So stay close to the Alien List. Look at that on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. Follow my booking page. Sky's the limit, my brother. I'm not ruling anything out. You can't, right? I mean,
right. Nor should you. And I know you have these all memorized top to bottom for all your different brands and projects you have. Where can the listeners of Let's Find Out more about them? Oh
boy. Okay. Hold on to your seats, guys. I got a lot of energy. I ain't even had coffee or Coke or nothing. I haven't smoked a joint and I'm still hyper. This is just my life. I love talking to Raph. I mean, you guys got to follow Co-host Diego. You guys keep listening to him. Big things are coming. Check out his merch. I mean, check out his future, what he's got going on. There's no stopping this fucking cat. I love this guy. This is a match made in heaven, me and him. It's going to be fun. I see that for a lot for this year, too, real quick, with Historically Haunted Booking, with clients like Raph, with clients like Nate Elwell, Stacey Johnson, and I can go on and on, Heather Caminiti, and just everybody. If you look at the list, they're all heavy hitters. You guys all have something to bring, and you're all fresh and new. None of you are copycats. I have 4 or 5 podcasters, and you all have the different approach, but you're all the same. You dig? You know what I mean? You follow? Like, it's all good. It's all good. There's no one that's like, well, his podcast. Well, there's no competition here. There's room for all of us. I like that. So, Adam Began, like to start. Began, Begin. That's me, Adam Began. My only personal page is Facebook. As far as Historically Haunted Booking LLC, that is on Instagram. That is on Facebook. And I believe TikTok, it's Historically Haunted. But I also am Adam the Historian Ghost Hunter. That's on TikTok. That's my YouTube channel. I almost have 400 subscribers. You'll see me going to all these places and talking like I do now and explaining everything from trying to think. I went to the birthplace of the fried clams. That's in Essex, Massachusetts. That's a place called Woodman's. In 1930s, they deep fried some clams for the first time in American history. Me and Heather went and ate some, and they were fucking delicious. Went to the birthplace of the hamburger. 1895, Lou's Lunch in Connecticut. Still there. A little building. It looks like a London building. It's where they first made the hamburger patty. You go there and you ask for ketchup, they'll throw you out. Don't ask for it. You take it how it comes. It's pretty fucking wild. Check that video out. So that's Adam Historian Ghost Hunter. Also, you'll find me Historically Haunted Paranormal. That's kind of the house that's founded everything. Me and Heather founded that a little bit before Corona. That's on Facebook only. And then, of course, Historically Haunted Show's gone, but the replays of Historically Haunted Show are on Historically Haunted YouTube, as well as my Historically Haunted Vodcast that I do. My visual podcast, that's switching to Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern this week. Live every hour, got a live audience, go kind of off the cuff. We smoke, we drink, we swear, but we digest. We get to learn people, learn what people do. So there's that. And then, of course, Historically Haunted Tours. I think I'm going to break soon. I'll have to fucking hire an assistant probably. But for that Historically Haunted Tours, that's pretty much Facebook. And I'm also an author. I'm halfway through my first book, my biography. I've been getting sponsorship to write my first book, which is taking me some time. So look for that soon. I don't know the name of it yet, but look for that. Follow me for more. I'm kind of all over the place. They're on Spotify. Historically Haunted is on Spotify as well. I believe it's under show or just Historically Haunted. I get pretty much the name trademarked at this point. I need to at least. I don't have any merch yet. I got some cards. I don't have any shirts and nothing. I want to make some shirts, I think. But for the most part, I'm on all the social medias, mainly Facebook, and that'll guide you to my other ones. So look up Adam Began, Adam Historian Ghost Hunter, Historically Haunted / all that on Facebook. Long story short.
Top to bottom, die hard work, my friend. Brother, I appreciate you coming on the show and taking the time off your busy day to be here. So 2023 has been good, but 2024 for the Historically Haunted family is going to be even better. And I know I can speak for them. We thank you for what you do for us, and looking forward to keep working with you, man.
Familia, you're my familia, man. I tell you, I got your back, Raph. Someone fucking threatens you, I'll fly out to fucking your place tomorrow and kick their fucking ass. Like I don't have a lot in life. Like I said, my family's not really there. My friends are more supportive, and you guys are my family and friends. And I love you guys for trusting in me, you know, and believing in me. And I want to take you guys with me, and I want you guys to take me with you too. Like I want it to be a family. So much love. I appreciate it. This flew by, man. This is fun. I'm usually not a guest. Maybe it's because I talk a lot.
Well, that's why I have you here, man, because I'm learning from you.
Oh, you bastard. I love you, Brav. I love you, Diego. You're the man, dude.
Much love to you, my friend, and come back and we'll do it again next year, all right?
You know it. Come back on mine. You're going to be officially co-host on my show sooner than later, but we'll talk.
We're going to make that work. Thank you very much. This has been another excellent episode of Let's Find Out with co-host Diego. Please check us out on all our social media pages, as well as on our YouTube, and we're also on Rumble. Like, share, and subscribe. Also, our merch is live and ready to go. Please visit Facebook page for more information how to order the shirts and caps. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Until next time, my friends.
Thank you for listening to Let's Find Out with co-host Diego. We're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Pocket Casts, and on Anchor. For more information about Let's Find Out with co-host Diego, please visit us on Facebook.com/co-host Diego, on Twitter at co-host_Diego, and on Instagram as co-host Diego. Copyright co-host Diego. All content for Let's Find Out is the property of co-host Diego and is served directly from our servers with no modification, redirects, or rehosting. All celebrity impersonators are paid performers. The impersonated celebrities do not endorse or promote any views or opinions expressed by our guests, co-host Diego, or Let's Find Out. The information shared on Let's Find Out is provided on an as-is basis with no guarantees of completeness, accuracy, usefulness, or timeliness.
Moonlight Monster Media presents the Steeds Ridge DVDs, Steeds Ridge posters, stickers, Moonlight Monster Media mugs, and Moonlight Monster Media t-shirts.